I wish to ask you something, but before I ask the question, let me tell you one thing. I have not come to give answers. I have come to take you within yourself, because the question is not about the outside world. The question is not about society. The question is not about people. The question is about fear. And that fear is encapsulated in a single sentence. What will people say? This is a small sentence, but it has imprisoned the entire soul of man. Do you think this fear is small? No, this fear is the greatest prison of your life. When a child is born, this fear does not exist within him. There is no calculation in his laughter. There is no strategy in his crying. He is as he is. But as he grows up, slowly the eyes of others begin to sit inside him. The mother says, "Do not do this. What will people say?" The father says, "Keep quiet. People are watching." The teacher says, "Do not laugh. What kind of image will you create in class?" And society does only one thing. It does not give you a mirror, it gives you a crowd. And then a day comes when you do not even look in the mirror with your own eyes. You look through the eyes of the crowd. I tell you, the day your life begins to be governed by what will people say, that day your life is no longer yours. Then you do not live, you only ask for permission. Permission to laugh, permission to cry, permission to love, permission to be alone. And a person who asks for permission can never be free. You ask, Osho, why do we feel fear? Fear exists because you have handed over your identity to the crowd. You do not know who you are, but you know very well what people think of you, and this is the greatest deception. I will tell you a small story. There was a man, he was very religious. Every day he went to the temple. He would fold his hands before everyone and chant mantras in a low voice. One day someone asked him, "Why are you so religious?" He said, "What will people say if I don't go? Do you understand?" He was not going for God. He was going out of fear of people. Such religion is not religion, it's a social performance. I tell you, in a life where what will people say exists, there can be no truth, because truth is always alone. The crowd is never with the truth. The crowd is always with convenience. You want to love, but you are afraid of what society will say. You want to choose your own path, but you are afraid of what the family will say. You are something else from within, but you become someone else on the outside because neighbors, relatives, and friends are all watching. I tell you, they are watching, but they are not living. And he who is not living himself, how can he be the yardstick for your life? What will people say is actually an excuse. The truth is, you are afraid of being yourself because being yourself demands responsibility. It demands courage. It demands the strength to stand alone. It is easy to hide in a crowd. To become yourself is difficult. I do not tell you to fight with society. I do not even tell you to change society. I only say, cast society out from within you. As long as society sits inside you, your soul can never dance. I am before you again. But to tell the truth, I am not in front of you. But to tell the truth, I am not in front of you. Because this fear, what will people say, does not come from outside. No one forcibly puts it there. You yourself nurture it. The birth of fear is very innocent. When a child looks into the mother's eyes for the first time and sees whether there is a smile or not. If a smile is found, the child learns this is right. If a scolding is found, the child learns this is wrong. The seed is planted right there. Right now there is no fear. There is only a desire for approval. But slowly this desire becomes the hunger of the soul. Have you noticed? You remain natural as long as no one is watching. As soon as someone starts watching, you change. The way you walk changes. The tone of your voice changes. Your laughter becomes fake. Why? Because a voice rises within. What will people think? I ask you, can you ever be entirely the same when alone as you are in front of people? No. Because you have become two. One is a real form that wants to laugh, cry, dance, and remain silent. And the other is your social mask that laughs thoughtfully, stays silent by observing the occasion, and asks at every step, will this look okay or not? Gradually the mask becomes so heavy that the face forgets what it was. The greatest trick of fear is this. It makes you feel that you are safe. You say, I am not taking a risk. I am staying fine in the eyes of people. But listen, fear does not give security. Fear only protects you from life. And he who protects himself from life withers before dying. I place a scene before you. A man is standing on the riverbank. He wants to swim, but he's afraid. He says, if I drown, what will people say? And the river keeps flowing. The sun sets, evening comes, that man remains safe. But he never swims. Ask him, did he live his life? Your whole life is standing on this very bank. But first you think, what will people say? You want to raise your voice, but first you think, what will people say? And gradually you start thinking this way about everything. Before every action, this thought becomes your jailer. Another name for fear is comparison. As long as you are within yourself, there is no fear. Fear comes when you start looking at yourself through someone else's eyes. He is better than me. People like him more. If I do this, what will my image be? Image. I hate this word. Image means you are investing in a lie. I speak straight to you. The day you become worried about your image, that day your soul remains hungry. Image is the bread of the outside world. The soul needs the food of the inner world. But you choose the applause of the outside and lose the peace within. Fear slowly snatches away your decisions. First, you ask, what do I want? Then you ask, what will people want? And finally, you don't ask at all. You just flow along with the crowd. And remember, the crowd never goes in the right direction. The crowd always chooses the easiest path, the safest path, the most lifeless path. Life is never safe. Life is a gamble. And he who does not gamble does not live. Now let me take you deeper. Because now it is not about fear. Now it is about your authenticity. Listen carefully. Fear does not make you a coward first. Fear makes you a liar. And a lie is not the greatest sin. A lie is the greatest burden. You wake up in the morning and put on a face. This face is not yours. This is a face approved by society. One face at home, another in the office, a third among friends and deep within. There is someone whom no one knows. I ask, when are you real? Fear says, do not speak like this. You will be misunderstood. Do not do this. The image will be ruined. Do not want this. People will laugh. And gradually, you begin to compromise with your own truth. First, a small compromise, then a slightly larger one, then a daily one. And one day you don't even remember what you were. I give you another scene. There was a man who was a very good singer. But in childhood, someone had said, your voice is not good. That was enough. Now that man hums quietly, even in the bathroom. Why? Because someone might hear the fear. It didn't steal his voice. Fear stole his self-expression. Remember, when you suppress your true feelings, they do not die. They become poison inside. And that same poison sometimes becomes anger, sometimes jealousy, sometimes depression. You say, why am I troubled? Because you are not living what you are. Fear teaches you how to look right, but it does not teach you how to be right. Looking right is cheap. Being right requires courage. And courage means the strength to stand apart from the crowd. I say something deep, and if it hurts to hear it, then understand that I have reached the right place. The crowd never loves the truth. The crowd only loves convenience. And he who speaks the truth, who lives the truth, is initially alone. But that very loneliness is the sky of the soul. You do not lie only with words, you lie with your choices. When you read what the heart does not want, it is a lie. When you do the job that kills the soul, it is a lie. When you stay in a relationship where there is no love, it is a lie, and with every lie, fear becomes a little stronger. I do not tell you to immediately conquer fear. I say at least be honest. Admit within yourself, I am afraid. This admission is the first truth. And where there is truth, the path to liberation begins from there. Now, let me bring you to the place where there is the most pain, but where the fewest people look. This is the place where you are not living your life, you are fulfilling someone else's expectations. And you don't even realize when it began. You are born like an unknown open sky, no future fixed, no path written, no goal imposed. But very soon, people start gathering around you. Mother says, Binga will be good. Father says, there is respect in this. Society says, this is safe. And you don't ask what I am. You ask, what will people say if I am different? From here, your own life gradually becomes someone else's. I ask you a direct question and answer honestly. The life you are living, if there were no society, if there were no family, if there were no one to watch, would you choose the same life? If the answer is no, then understand that you are somehow betraying yourself. Fear says, if I do not do this, people will call me a failure. Listen to me, a failure is not the one who falls, a failure is the one who never tries to fly. But society's definition is different. Society says a good job is success, marriage is success, children are success, stability is success. And you accept these definitions as true. I have looked into the eyes of thousands of people. One question is everything. Even then, why is something empty? This emptiness does not come from poverty. This emptiness does not come from failure. This emptiness comes from not living your soul. You became a doctor, but the poet within is dying of suffocation. You became an engineer, but the music within is crying, and you say everything is fine. No, everything is not fine. You have just suppressed the voice within you. The deepest game of fear is this. It convinces you that your suffering is normal. It says everyone lives like this. You tell your children, do not become what you like, become what is right, and then you wonder why they are sad. You pass that same fear to the next generation. I have not come here to teach you rebellion. I am just asking you to wake up. See where you are murdering your inner self, just so people don't say bad things. Now listen carefully, because what was said until now was the diagnosis. What I will say now is the medicine. But remember, this medicine is not bitter. It is just unfamiliar. Liberation from fear does not begin with a revolution, nor with slogans, nor with rebellion. Liberation from fear begins with acceptance. Yes, the first yes is within you. You have always been doing this, hiding the fear. You say, I am not afraid, I am practical, I am a realist. All these words are masks for fear. I tell you, accept the fear. Say, yes, I am afraid. Yes, I care about people's opinions. This confession is not weakness. This is the first courage. Fear is like darkness. If you fight it, it seems deeper. If you run from it, it chases you. But if you light a lamp, the darkness no longer remains. Acceptance is that lamp. I give a small experiment. Next time the voice rises within you, what will people say? Then stop. Do not say keep quiet. Just watch as if a cloud has appeared in the sky, neither good nor bad, it just is. You are not the cloud, you are the sky. The whole power of fear lies in the fact that you identify with it. You say, I am fear. No, fear is an event within you, and that which can be seen is not you. You will ask, Osho, then what should I do? I will say, life's small truths, big decisions come later. For now, do this much, speak the truth you want to speak softly, wear what you want to wear, listen to what you want to hear. Do not challenge the crowd, just start giving respect to your inner self. Fear breaks when you see that nothing broke. People laughed, people spoke, and then people forgot, because people do not think much about you. They are busy with their own fears. I say a very deep thing. What will people say? This question is not yours. This question belongs to the people. Why are you carrying it on your shoulders? When you gradually strengthen the yes within you, then one day no comes naturally from within the no that protects the soul. Now we stand at the boundary where most people turn back, because here fear becomes visible and the voice of society begins to weaken. And remember, the voice of society is not outside. It keeps running inside you like a record. You think that society controls you. This is a half-truth. The full truth is this. You keep society alive within you. Mother says nothing now. Father is no longer present. The teacher is very far away. But their voice is still speaking within you, and you mistake it for your own voice. When you begin to say yes to the inner self, when you start living small truths, then a strange event occurs. Two voices begin to exist within. One says, do not do this. It won't look right. The second is very slow but very true. This is my truth. Most people listen to the first voice because it is old, aggressive, and full of fear. The second voice is new, delicate, and calm, and truth, it is always calm. I warn you, when the voice of society begins to weaken, fear puts forth its full strength one last time. You will feel, I am doing wrong, I am becoming selfish, I am giving pain to my loved ones. These are all the final tricks of fear, because fear knows its end is near. I give you a scene. You have been living in a dark room for many years. You have become accustomed to the darkness. It feels safe. Suddenly a window opens, light comes. Initially, there is a burning sensation in the eyes. You say this light is wrong. No, your habit is wrong. The silence within is such light. When you create a little distance from fear, for the first time silence is heard. And this silence is not empty. It is alive. It is awake. It gives you direction without giving orders. Society gives orders. The soul gives signals. Society says do this. The soul says watch. And he who watches gradually chooses the right thing automatically. You ask Osho, if I do not listen to society, will there not be chaos? No. Chaos comes when you impose your views on others without listening to them. Listening to the soul does not bring chaos. The soul is discipline, but from within. Understand a beautiful thing. The life driven by fear is harsh. The life driven by silence is compassionate, because when you live your truth, then you begin to give respect to the truth of others as well. Gradually, a day comes when someone says something about you and nothing moves within you. Earlier, your heart used to beat fast. Now you just listen. This is not indifference, this is stability. Remember, people will speak. If you bow, they will still speak. If you stand, they will still speak. Then what is the benefit of bowing? When the silence within begins to strengthen, then one day you laugh at your old fear. You see, for how many years I was afraid of an imagination. Now we have come to the point where words begin to fall short. Because now what happens through experience, not through understanding. Fear is fear as long as you fight it or run from it. The day you look at fear and do nothing, that very day fear loses its power, because fear lives on your reaction. Understand this. Fear is not a monster. Fear is a shadow. The more you run, the bigger it seems. Stop, turn and look. The shadow becomes small on its own. When what will people say rises within you and you say, let them say, right there the revolution occurs not outside, not in society, but within. I am talking about a very subtle change. Earlier you measured yourself through the eyes of others. Now you recognize yourself through the peace within. This change does not change the world, but it changes your perspective. And that is enough. Now people still speak, but their words cannot find a place within you. Like a stone falling into a calm lake, the waves end after a short distance. Earlier the stone used to drown you. Now it just falls. I tell you another truth. The person who is stable in his truth does not hurt anyone, because he doesn't have to prove anything to anyone. The one who lives by fear is aggressive. A free person is calm. Now you can also see why people speak. They do not speak because you are wrong. They speak because your freedom shows them their slavery, and seeing this is painful. Therefore people criticize, mock and label so that they don't have to meet themselves. When fear goes away, a new juice comes into life. Small things become beautiful again. Laughter becomes simple. Silence becomes sweet. Loneliness becomes bliss. And the greatest thing, you return home to yourself for the first time. Now you do not run. Now you do not hide. Now you are. Now words must be handled very carefully, because now we are entering the land where language begins to be left behind and experience begins to lead. What was there until now was a struggle. What is here now is a merger. The departure of fear does not mean that there will be no more challenges. The departure of fear means that now the challenge is also not your enemy. Life no longer remains a fight. Life becomes a dance, when what will people say becomes entirely meaningless. A deep peace descends. This peace does not come from any achievement. This peace does not come from any stubbornness. This peace comes from being yourself. You see for the first time what society is. Society is not a person. Society is not a power. Society is a collection of frightened people, and you were afraid of those frightened people. This realization brings laughter. I tell you, society never bound you. You bound yourself because you wanted acceptance. Now when acceptance starts coming from within, every external acceptance becomes irrelevant. Understand a very subtle difference here. Earlier you used to say, I am right. Now you say, I am. The first was ego. The second is existence. When you settle into I am, comparison ends. Now no one is above, no one is below. Now there is neither jealousy nor inferiority, because comparison requires another, and now you are alone. But this loneliness is not empty. This loneliness is complete. In this state you do not fight anyone. If someone says something, you listen. If it is true, you learn. If it is a lie, it doesn't even touch you. Now there is no reaction. Now there is a response. After the departure of fear, your compassion manifests naturally. Earlier you used to try to be good. Now you are good without trying, because when there is no tension within, how will there be violence outside? You look at your past and compassion comes. You say, I was so afraid and I didn't even know it. Now you recognize the fear of others as well, and therefore do not blame them. This state is not a goal, it is not a peak, it is a homecoming, where you already were but had forgotten. And here a very beautiful event occurs. Your life now becomes a message. You don't give any sermons. You don't teach anything. You just live as you are, and that is enough. Now people ask you, how are you so calm? Why does it not matter to you? Why are you not afraid? And you smile, because now there is nothing left to explain. Much has changed now. But to someone watching from the outside, perhaps nothing may seem changed. You are doing the same work, you are walking in the same world, you are among the same people. But a revolution has occurred within. Now you live not by fear, but by awareness. First, let's talk about work. Earlier, work was a burden. You did the work because you had to, because people would ask, what do you do? What do you work? Work had become your identity. Now work is not your identity. Now work is an expression. If you are inward, you are complete. If there is tiredness, it is accepted. If there is joy, there is no guilt. Earlier, you used to work and think of something else within. Now you are where you are. This is meditation. Now the matter of relationships, earlier relationships were driven by fear of being alone or being left behind or what people will say. Now relationships are driven by freedom. Now you do not catch anyone. You do not cling to anyone. You are together because there is joy, not need. Now love is not a transaction. Now love is a partnership. If someone comes, beautiful. If someone goes, thank you. Earlier parting was a wound. Now parting is an understanding. And now loneliness. Earlier loneliness was fear. The crowd was needed to escape from oneself. Now loneliness is bliss. Now when you are alone, you are not empty. Now you are with yourself. And he who is happy with himself is never dependent on others. Society is still there. People still speak. But now their words do not determine the direction of your life. Now you have a compass within. Calm, silent, accurate. Earlier you used to ask, will this look right? Now you ask, is this true? And this question is enough. You will see that now your life is becoming simple. Less lies, less tension, less drama, and therefore less fatigue. This freedom is not a special state, it is very ordinary, so ordinary that the ego cannot catch it. Now the final thing remains, now the journey is about to be completed. But remember, this is not the end, this is a beginning. I talked to you about fear, about society, about the crowd. But in the end, I do not want to leave you on a theory. I want to leave you on an experience. If you can save just one thing from this entire journey, let it be this. You have not come here to please anyone else. You have come here to be yourself. And being yourself is not an achievement. It is not a position. It is not an honor. It is the simplest and most difficult art. What will people say? This question is not outside you. This question is the voice of a frightened child within you. Do not scold him. Do not drive him away. Just hold his hand and say, now I am here. Remember, people will speak if you are a liar and also if you are true. Then what is the point of choosing a lie? Life is a bit difficult with the truth, but it is beautiful. With a lie, it is easy, but it is empty. The choice is always yours. I do not leave you on an ideal. I send you back into your ordinary life where you make tea, work, laugh, and get tired, just with one difference. Now at every moment you ask within yourself, is this my truth? If yes, then proceed. If no, then stop. This is meditation. This is religion. This is revolution. I am not making you a monk. I am inviting you to become an awakened human being who is neither afraid of the crowd nor of loneliness. And finally, I ask something of you. Do not believe me. Do not worship me. Do not make my words into a theory. Just test them in your life. If they seem true, live them. If they do not, leave them. Truth is not anyone's slave. Now, I stop here. But your journey begins from here. Today, when any voice rises, what will people say? Then smile and say, now I know what I have to say.